15 perennials to plant in mid-September, zones 310. Color before first frost. Hello friends, and welcome back to Earthly Delights, where soil meets soul and every season opens a new door for beauty. If you're here, I know a few things about you already. You love the calm of nurturing plants. You crave a garden that feels alive with color, and you want practical guidance that doesn't just sound nice, but actually works in your own yard. Maybe you've been tending houseplants on a sunny windowsill. Maybe you're shaping your backyard into a sanctuary. Or perhaps you're the busy gardener who longs for quick wins without endless trial and error. Wherever you fall, you belong here. Now, many gardeners think September is the closing chapter of the year, a time to put tools away. But the truth? Mid-September is a secret season, a window where the soil is still warm, the air is cooler, and perennials take root without the stress of summer heat. It's a chance for you, whether you're in Zone 3 with early frosts or Zone 10 with lingering warmth, to plant wisely and enjoy one last splash of color before winter sets in. Stick with me, because today we're uncovering 15 perennials you can plant in mid-September to transform your garden now and set it up for triumph next spring. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to Earthly Delights so you never miss a chance to grow smarter, not harder, with your plants. Part 1, Why Mid-September Matters. As we step into mid-September, many people think the gardening season is winding down, but that's where the real secret lies. This moment is not about endings, but about setting the stage for your garden's next great performance. The soil still carries the warmth of summer, encouraging roots to stretch and grow strong, while the cooler air eases the stress that plants often face in the blazing heat of July or August. It's a time of balance where nature slows just enough to give you and your plants breathing room. Think about it. Spring planting often feels like a race. You're juggling too many chores at once, trying to keep up with weeds, rain, and unpredictable temperatures. By contrast, fall planting feels almost like slipping into a calm rhythm. You can walk through your garden without the weight of urgency, choosing spots for perennials that will quietly settle in through the fall and winter months. And here's the beauty. Whether you're in the brisk northern edges of Zone 3 or the mild warmth of Zone 10, the benefits are the same. Roots thrive underground while the tops of plants rest above. Come spring, your garden bursts forward stronger, earlier, and with less effort on your part. So if you've ever felt behind or overwhelmed, September is your second chance. Stay with me, because we're about to explore the perennials that make this season a gardener's best-kept secret. Part 2, the 15 perennials, a journey through color and resilience. Now that we understand why September holds such quiet power, let's step into the heart of today's journey. Each perennial we'll meet is more than just a plant. They're storytellers of resilience, bursts of color, and living companions that will carry your garden's spirit forward, right up to the first frost and beyond. 1. Coneflowers, Echinacea strength, healing, pollinators. When you think of a flower that embodies strength and healing, coneflowers come to mind almost instantly. With their daisy-like petals radiating from bold, spiky centers, they stand tall in the garden even as the days shorten. For many of you who love to see life buzzing around your backyard, coneflowers are a magnet for bees and butterflies, offering them nectar when much of the season's feast has already faded. What makes them perfect for mid-September planting is their resilience. These hardy perennials don't mind cooler nights. In fact, they thrive when the soil is warm and the air is crisp. Once their roots anchor in, they return year after year with even greater strength. And here's the secret bonus. Cutting back the faded blooms now not only keeps your garden tidy, but also directs more energy underground, preparing the plant for an explosive show next season. For zones 3 through 10, a layer of mulch around their base protects them through frost, ensuring that next spring your garden greets you with vibrant bursts of pink, purple, and gold, alive with visiting pollinators. 2. Black-eyed Susans, Rudbeckia sunshine, endurance joy. If your garden ever feels like it needs a touch of sunshine to chase away the shortening days, Black-eyed Susans are the answer. Their golden petals and dark centers glow like miniature suns, bringing warmth even as the first hints of frost creep into the mornings. Gardeners love them because they're not fussy. Once planted in September, Their roots dive deep into the welcoming soil, ready to rest through winter and leap into life when spring returns. These perennials are also champions of endurance. You'll often find them blooming late into fall, standing strong when other flowers have already faded. And for those of you who enjoy a lively, buzzing garden, they are a favorite stop for bees and butterflies seeking their last meals before the cold. Deadheading spent blooms now can stretch their color show just a little longer, giving you cheerful bursts right up until frost. In zones 310, they settle in easily, asking only for a sunny spot and a little carrot planting. By next summer, they'll reward you with broad sweeps of golden joy that make your garden feel like a canvas brushed with light. 3. Sedum, stonecrop, resilience, texture, autumn beauty. Sedum, often called stonecrop, is the kind of perennial every gardener secretly wishes all plants could be. Tough, forgiving, and strikingly beautiful without demanding constant attention. In September, when other blooms begin to fade, sedum comes into its prime. Its fleshy, succulent leaves store water, making it naturally drought-tolerant, while its clusters of star-shaped flowers deepen in color as the nights grow cooler. For those of you who want texture and movement in the garden, sedum delivers. Its upright stems and rosy blooms look stunning alongside ornamental grasses or late-season daisies. Planting sedum now allows the roots to settle comfortably before frost, and come next year, you'll notice how easily it spreads, filling spaces with a carpet of color and form. What's remarkable is how adaptable it is. Thriving in poor soil, on slopes, or in containers, it's a gardener's ally when conditions aren't ideal. Whether you're in chilly zone 3 or balmy zone 10, sedum greets every garden with reliability and understated beauty. It's the kind of perennial that quietly whispers, "Don't worry, I've got this," while holding its ground through both summer heat and autumn chill. Parfois, hellebores, Lenten rose grace, winter promise, evergreen charm. Hellebores, often called Lenten roses, are a gift to gardeners who crave beauty when little else dares to bloom. Planting them in mid-September feels almost like tucking away a secret treasure, because while their glossy evergreen leaves hold steady through fall and winter, their blossoms will surprise you with color just as the cold months begin to loosen their grip. For those of you who love discovering quiet moments of joy in your garden, hellebores offer soft shades of cream, pink, and even deep plum, often flowering as early as late winter. Fall planting gives their roots time to establish before the freeze, so by spring they're ready to unfurl with strength and elegance. They also thrive in partial shade, making them perfect companions for gardeners with wooded backyards or shaded corners that need lifting. And unlike many delicate flowers, hellebores are tough, resistant to deer, and tolerant of a variety of soils. Whether you're caring for a small courtyard or a sprawling garden, these plants add a touch of evergreen charm and carry the promise that beauty can rise even in the quietest, coldest seasons. 5. Peonies. Romance, heritage, spring and glory. Peonies are the timeless darlings of the garden, carrying with them a sense of heritage and romance that few other plants can match. If you've ever walked past a neighbor's yard in late spring and caught sight of their lush, fragrant blooms, you know why they've been cherished for centuries. Planting peonies in mid-September may feel like a patient gardener's task, but the rewards are worth every ounce of waiting. With the soil still warm, their roots begin to anchor deeply, preparing for a dazzling display once spring arrives. For those of you who dream of big, show-stopping flowers in shades of pink, white, and red, this is your chance to lay the foundation. One key detail to remember: peonies don't like being buried too deep. Set their eyes just below the soil surface, and they'll thank you with decades of reliable blooms. And yes, I said decades. These perennials can live for 50 years or more in the same spot, becoming family heirlooms in your landscape. By giving them a home now, you're not just planting a flower. You're writing a story your garden will tell year after year, each spring more breathtaking than the last. 6. Daylilies. Hemerocallis, reliability, color, effortless beauty. Daylilies are often called the gardener's best friend, and for good reason. If you've ever wished for a plant that thrives on neglect, yet rewards you with color, daylilies deliver every time. Their strappy green foliage forms a neat clump, and then, almost magically, tall stalks rise to unveil blooms in a rainbow of shades, from sunny yellows to deep burgundies. Each blossom lasts only a day, but here's the wonder: they bloom in such abundance that your garden seems to sparkle continuously through summer. Planting them in mid-September is like giving them a gentle head start. The soil's warmth helps their roots settle quickly, ensuring a strong comeback when the next growing season begins. For busy gardeners, daylilies are a sigh of relief. They shrug off pests, adapt to different soils, and tolerate both drought and heavy rains. In zones 3 through 10, they are nearly unstoppable, offering long-lasting beauty with very little fuss. If spring often leaves you scrambling to plant, think of September as your golden window to tuck in these loyal performers. By next year, you'll have swaths of carefree color that greet you every morning with effortless cheer. 7. Hostas, shade, elegance, dependability. For gardeners who struggle with shady corners and wonder what could possibly thrive there, hostas are like a sigh of relief. Known for their lush, broad leaves in hues ranging from deep green to silvery blue, these perennials bring a sense of calm elegance to any garden space. Planting them in mid-September gives them exactly what they need: time for roots to spread without the stress of summer heat, while their foliage begins its graceful retreat before frost. By spring, they'll burst back stronger, filling your shaded beds with dependable beauty. For those of you juggling busy schedules or feeling frustrated by plants that demand constant attention, hostas are low-maintenance heroes. They ask little beyond a patch of shade and consistent moisture, yet reward you with sculptural leaves that make the garden feel lush and welcoming. And when paired with ferns, hellebores, or astilbes, hostas create a layered woodland effect that feels like stepping into a secret retreat. Even better, they're long-lived. Once established, they return year after year, quietly expanding to offer more fullness and presence. For zones 310, they're not just plants. They're the steady companions that keep your garden grounded. 8. Lavender, fragrance, tranquility, timeless charm. Few plants carry the magic of lavender. The moment its silvery foliage and purple spikes sway in the breeze, the air fills with that unmistakable fragrance, calming, uplifting, and deeply nostalgic. For those of you who long to create a garden that feels like a retreat, lavender is your perfect companion. Planting it in mid-September allows the roots to settle into the still warm soil, preparing for the bursts of blooms that will arrive with the summer sun. While lavender thrives best in full sun and well-drained soil, it rewards you with so much more than beauty. It draws pollinators, bees, butterflies, even hummingbirds, turning your garden into a lively sanctuary. In zones 3 through 10, the key to success lies in drainage. Soggy roots are lavender's only true enemy. Think of raised beds, sandy mixes, or even containers if your soil is heavy. Once it's happy, lavender gives back endlessly, not only with color but with fragrance you can dry, harvest, and bring indoors. Imagine brushing past it on a cool evening, the scent lingering on your hands, a daily reminder that your garden isn't just a space, but a source of serenity. 9. Russian sage, strength, airiness, late-season glow. Russian sage is the plant that turns an ordinary late-season garden into something extraordinary. With its tall, airy spires of lavender blue flowers and its silvery aromatic foliage, it creates a misty haze of color that seems to dance in the autumn light. For gardeners in zones 3 through 10, planting Russian sage in mid-September is a brilliant move. The soil is warm enough to encourage root growth, while the cooler days reduce stress, allowing it to settle in with ease. What makes Russian sage special is not just its beauty, but its toughness. It thrives in hot, dry conditions, shrugs off poor soil, and once established, requires very little attention. For busy plant lovers or anyone who wants maximum impact with minimal effort, this is your answer. By next summer, Russian sage will stand tall, bringing movement and softness to your borders while luring in bees and butterflies. And in combination with sedum, coneflowers, or ornamental grasses, it adds layers of texture and color that carry your garden gracefully into fall. It's a plant that whispers resilience while painting your landscape with a shimmering glow right before the frost. 10. Bee balm, Monarda energy, pollinators, wild beauty. Bee balm is the heartbeat of a lively garden, a plant that seems to hum with energy even when the air is still. With its shaggy, firework-like blooms in shades of red, pink, and purple, it feels almost untamed. Yet that's exactly why so many gardeners fall in love with it. Planting bee balm in mid-September sets the stage for roots to establish in comfort before winter arrives, ensuring that when summer returns, you'll be greeted with a burst of wild beauty. For those of you who dream of a garden alive with movement, bee balm is irresistible. It draws bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds in such numbers that your yard feels like a tiny sanctuary for pollinators. And as they dart from flower to flower, you'll feel like your garden has become part of something larger, a living rhythm in tune with the natural world. In zones 3 through 10, bee balm thrives best in moist, well-drained soil and plenty of sun, though it forgives a little shade. By planting now, you're not just adding color, you're inviting music and motion, a garden that doesn't just grow but sings with life. 11. Coreopsis, cheerfulness, simplicity, golden glow. Coreopsis is often called tick seed, but don't let that humble name fool you. This perennial is pure sunshine captured in a flower. Its cheerful yellow blooms, sometimes streaked with pinks or reds depending on the variety, bring a light-hearted glow to any garden. For gardeners who want color that doesn't quit, Coreopsis is a dream come true. Planting it in mid-September allows its roots to nestle into the warm soil, storing strength for a dazzling show the following summer. It's an easygoing perennial that thrives in full sun, tolerates poor soil, and asks very little of you once it's established. For busy plant lovers who juggle work, family, and a love of the outdoors, Coreopsis is the kind of reliable friend you'll always be glad you planted. And here's another gift. It's a favorite among butterflies, making your late summer and early fall garden a lively stopover for pollinators on their journey. In zones 3 through 10, Coreopsis is as versatile as it is beautiful, offering endless possibilities in borders, wildflower meadows, or even containers. Plant it now, and by next year, your garden will sparkle with waves of golden cheer that feel like bottled sunlight. 12. Phlox Tall Garden. Phlox drama, fragrance, late summer charm. Tall garden phlox is one of those plants that seems to arrive just when you need it most. As summer begins to fade, phlox steps in with towering clusters of blooms in shades of pink, purple, red, and white, bringing drama and fragrance that can carry your garden right up to the first frost. For those of you who want your backyard to feel like a place of abundance rather than decline at the season's end, phlox is the perfect choice. Planting it in mid-September ensures its roots grow strong beneath the still warm soil, while cooler days ease the stress of transplanting. By the following summer, phlox will rise tall and proud, drawing in butterflies and filling the air with a sweet, nostalgic scent that reminds you of cottage gardens from long ago. The key to success is giving it space and air circulation, especially in humid climates, to prevent powdery mildew. In zones 3 through 10, it thrives when planted in sunny or lightly shaded spots, rewarding you with blooms that seem to defy the shortening days. Phlox isn't just a flower. It's a statement of resilience and beauty at the season's edge. 13. Shasta daisies, purity, simplicity, timeless joy. Shasta daisies bring a crisp, refreshing presence to the garden. Their bright white petals and sunny yellow centers, offering a clean contrast to the deeper tones of late summer. For gardeners who love that classic cheerful look, these daisies never go out of style. Planting them in mid-September is like setting the stage for a burst of purity next year. The roots slip easily into the warm soil now, preparing for sturdy stems and a flush of blooms when spring and summer arrive. What makes them so endearing is their dependability. Once established, Shasta daisies return year after year, often spreading into generous clumps that fill spaces with light. For those of you juggling busy days, they require little maintenance beyond deadheading to keep the flowers coming, and a simple cutback after frost to encourage fresh growth next season. Bees and butterflies adore them, turning each bloom into a tiny landing pad for pollinators. In zones 3 through 10, they thrive in sunny beds, borders, or even as cut flowers for your home. Shasta daisies remind us that sometimes the simplest flowers are the ones that bring the greatest joy. 14. Yarrow, Achillea healing strength pollinator magnet. Yarrow is a plant with a story as old as gardening itself. Known for its feathery foliage and flat-top clusters of blooms in shades of yellow, red, pink, or white, it's both tough and timeless. Planting yarrow in mid-September gives it the chance to anchor its resilient roots, ensuring that by next spring, it will rise strong and ready to thrive. For gardeners who sometimes feel challenged by poor soil or dry conditions, yarrow is a faithful ally. It actually prefers less than perfect environments and rewards you with months of blooms. Its history is rich, too. Long valued for medicinal uses, yarrow symbolizes healing and strength, making it more than just a pretty face in the garden. In zones 3 through 10, it grows vigorously, often naturalizing into meadows or sunny borders where butterflies and bees flock to its nectar-rich flowers. For those of you who want a garden alive with color and life, but without constant worry, yarrow is almost effortless. Simply give it sun, keep the soil well drained, and enjoy how it paints your garden with resilience, connecting you to generations of gardeners who trusted in its enduring charm. 15. Asters, hope, transition, autumn's last color. Asters are the grand finale of the perennial garden, arriving just as summer fades and the first frost looms near. Their dainty, star-shaped blooms in shades of purple, pink, and blue sparkle against the crisp autumn air, bringing one final burst of joy before the garden rests. For those of you who love watching pollinators dance across your yard, asters are a gift. Honeybees and migrating butterflies flock to them, grateful for this late-season banquet. Planting asters in mid-September is perfect timing. The roots will settle comfortably in the warm soil, preparing to return stronger each year. What makes them so special is the way they bridge seasons, reminding us that endings can also be beginnings. They thrive in zones 3 through 10, preferring sunny spots and well-drained soil, and with minimal effort, they'll reward you with a spectacular show just when you need it most. For busy gardeners, asters bring color without fuss, extending the life of your garden long after others have given up. They stand as a symbol of resilience, hope, and the promise that beauty lingers even as the frost draws near. Part 3, Caring for September Perennials. Now that we've walked together through 15 perennials that can transform your garden when planted in September, it's time to pause and think about what comes next. Because planting is only the first step. The real magic happens in how you care for these plants as the season shifts. Mid-September is generous, offering you warm soil and cool air. But the first frost is never too far away. To protect your investment and ensure these plants wake up strong in spring, you'll want to add a gentle layer of mulch around their crowns. This keeps the soil temperature steady and shields the roots from sudden freezes. Watering also plays its part. Though cooler weather means less evaporation, new roots still need consistent moisture to establish. So a deep drink once or twice a week is often enough. And if you already have mature perennials crowding your beds, this is the perfect time to divide them, giving both the old and the new more breathing room. Think of it like tucking your garden into bed for winter, snug, secure, and ready to dream of brighter days. With just a little care now, you'll wake in spring to a garden that feels stronger and more alive than ever before. Part 4, Connecting with You, the gardener. As we reach this moment together, I want to pause and speak directly to you, the heart behind the garden. Maybe you've been so busy that summer slipped through your fingers and you feel like you missed your chance. Maybe spring planting always overwhelms you with its long lists, crowded garden centers, and unpredictable weather. Or maybe you're that patient soul who longs for a calmer rhythm, a season where planting feels like meditation rather than a race. No matter where you stand, September is your season of second chances. This is the quiet gift of gardening. You're never too late. And the earth always offers you another opening to begin again. Fall planting doesn't just nurture the soil, it nurtures you, reminding you that growth often happens in the quiet months, beneath the surface, unseen but steady. And as you kneel in your garden, placing roots into the earth, you're also planting hope for the year to come. So take this as your invitation to breathe, to dig, to dream, knowing that by next spring, the work you've done now will greet you with joy and color beyond what you imagined. A garden's promise beyond frost. So here we are, standing at the close of our September journey together. 15 perennials, each with its own story, ready to bring resilience, fragrance, and color into your space before the frost settles in. And yet, what you've really planted today is not just flowers. It's a vision of what your garden can become. Every root you tuck into the soil now is a promise to your future self, a reminder that patience and care bloom into beauty when the seasons turn. Maybe you've been listening with a notepad in hand, eager to plan each corner of your yard. Or maybe you've simply been dreaming, imagining how your shaded spots, sunny beds, or quiet borders could transform with a little effort today. Either way, you've taken the first step, and that matters. Remember, gardening isn't about perfection. It's about connection to the soil, to the seasons, and to yourself. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 15 perennials will you try this fall? Do you garden in Zone 3 with early frosts or in Zone 10 where the warmth lingers? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you found inspiration here, don't forget to subscribe to Earthly Delights so we can keep growing together season after season.